All right. So we will welcome everyone. We will give it a couple minutes for people to join. How is the weather in Connecticut today, Lexi?
Very rainy.
Very rainy. Oh man.
Very, very rainy.
Just
How's the weather in
that out your
Oregon?
window. It's cold here. I was saying earlier, it's like anytime it's clear and not rainy, it just gets cold. So, um, yeah, but it's fine. Can't complain.
Yeah, we definitely are trying to make up for a drought. So we're happy that we're getting good rain here now.
It's like we needed
Yes,
it. We
we
needed
needed that.
it. All right, once again, we'll just give it a couple more minutes for people to come in. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Excited to share with you today. And if you're wondering where my background is, it's the Carlton Hotel in San Moritz, Switzerland. So
Mm.
very lovely winter view.
Yes.
All right, so maybe we'll just get started by introducing ourselves. Lexi, if you want to say hello. Lexi's our intrepid screen share today.
Yes.
You want to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Lexi Kazansky. I'm a business development manager based in Connecticut. I've been with Tablet for 7 years. And the markets that I cover are New England here in the US, the UK and Ireland, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Austria, Eastern Europe, and the Balkans.
Quite a quite an arsenal.
The best list.
And hi as well. My name is Nikki Wiesenfeld. I am a senior business development manager and hotel community manager here at Tablet in the Michelin Guide. I'm based in Portland, Oregon, not Switzerland, as my background would suggest. Um, and I manage markets on the west coast of the US and also Canada and Germany. So
Yes.
thank you again for joining us. I think we can just go ahead and dive in and get started.
Sure.
We will have some time at the end for questions. So if you do have any questions as we're going along, feel free to leave them in the chat box, and we will tackle them at the end. And we are recording this session, so just so everyone is aware. So, thank you again for joining us today. We are continuing our third annual Travel Week event, and this one is bigger than ever. We had originally conceived of this event as a way to bring our larger hotel community together and share insights and data and discussions with you, our hotel partners. And so that's what we're doing this year. We have panels and different presentations and really trying to bring our knowledge of what's happened over this year to you and share it with you. So today's talk is kind of what we consider our main presentation. It's meant to encapsulate the best of what we have to share with you from the year. It's also an opportunity for us to share a few wins, discuss what larger trends we're seeing in the hospitality world, and also what we're doing as a business as it relates to these trends, and really just dig into what our data is telling us about our customer behavior. When we started putting this together, the main theme that really stood out was just how many options there are now in hospitality and the hotel world. The sheer number of hotels that exist, the points and loyalty programs, all of the booking options from branded websites to wholesalers and everything in between. It can truly be overwhelming, even for seasoned travelers and hoteliers. So, as travelers face a sea of options, we're positioning ourselves as a trusted life raft. We're offering a curated hotel selection, exclusive perks from our Plus program, and expert recommendations to guide both travelers and our hotel partners through all of the overwhelming choices. So, on the agenda today, we're going to talk about some of the big trends we've seen emerge over the last year and how Tablet and the Michelin Guide is responding to them. So, first and foremost, we'll talk about the value and importance of loyalty programs, really as finding and retaining customers becomes more competitive overall. We've seen loyalty programs really kind of ramp up, and we're going to talk about how our own Plus VIP program is different from many other loyalty programs out there. And we'll have some pretty fun data to share with you about that as well. We'll talk about the importance of curation in this very crowded landscape and the resurgence of travel advisors as customers are turning to trusted sources for recommendations and suggestions on where to stay. We also want to talk a little bit about our users' booking behavior. It's fun to share what we're seeing from our side, and specifically how they're wanting to travel even more for getaways and relaxing escapes. And then finally, we'll touch on the melding of gastronomy and hotels and how our two favorite worlds have really blended together. And more specifically, how we're capturing bookings from restaurant focused customers. So before we dive into those trends, we just want to talk about a couple of wins we've had this year. So we always say that our success is your success. So it's fun to share some of these pieces of good news that we can all be happy about. So as we approach our 25-year anniversary for Tablet, we've been around since 2000. We are excited to say that 2024 was the best year we've ever had as a company revenue-wise. We've generated more revenue for hotels this year than ever before. So thank you for your contributions to this record-breaking year. If we were all in person together, I would have us all stop for a round of applause, but we can do it virtually. Um, and then also we launched our keys, our Michelin Key program this year. So you've probably heard about the key designations. In March of this year, we started announcing the very first key awards, and we've now awarded hotels in 13 different destinations. This accomplishment has been about 5 years in the making, and the reception has really been worth the wait. We've seen an enormous positive response from hotels and the rest of the industry. Lots of people very excited to receive keys and posting photos with their plaques and sending out email blasts celebrating their awards. So we just love seeing that, and we're really excited that hotels are now being recognized in the same way that restaurants have been for so many years. Also, a little fun piece of data in November, 45% of hotels that were booked on the Michelin Guide site were key hotels. So we're seeing a lot of success booking wise with the keys as well. And we will talk a little bit more about that later on. So don't worry. So we're pretty happy with how the year went, and we're very excited for 2025. But before we move on to next year, let's circle back and talk about some of these trends we've observed. So, as I said, we're going to start with the importance and value of loyalty and how Tablet Plus and the Michelin Guides, or sorry, how Tablet and the Michelin Guides Plus program stands out. So, as I think we're all aware, in the hospitality world, loyalty programs are incredibly important. They're also more ubiquitous than ever. It seems like every travel brand and hotel group has a loyalty program. There's Amex and FHR, Marriott, Bonvoy, World of Hyatt, Hilton, Accor, on and on and on. And we've seen this grow, especially this year, and just growing like crazy. So we wanted to take a look at why loyalty is so important and why it's growing so much. And really, kind of what we found was that as competition for customers has grown, the cost of acquiring new customers has increased. So bidding on meta search and search engine marketing has really become kind of the wild, wild west. And as the hotel industry's customer acquisition cost has gone up. It's become a lot harder to kind of get a foot in the door with finding new customers. And as of right now, the customer acquisition cost is actually up 6% year over year, and it's currently the highest it's ever been. We know that some of the bigger players like Booking.com, Expedia, Trip.com, and Airbnb are investing heavily on new customer acquisition. So those companies collectively spent $5 billion in Q1 2024 on acquiring new customers. And they're projected to spend even more in Q1 2025. So they're really, as I said, it's a hard investment to get in the door of finding new customers when these big players have really cornered that market. We had a panel this morning with hoteliers, and a couple of independent properties mentioned specifically that they are just not able to compete when it comes with marketing and trying to find new customers. They really have to rely on loyalty and existing customers as part of their strategy. And in fact, according to the website Business Dasher, 44% of consumers say that loyalty programs influence their hotel selection, and members of loyalty programs contribute between 30 and 60% of room revenue. So it's not just more cost effective to invest more in retaining customers via loyalty, it just makes sense. Um, so you're probably wondering, I did say we are doing things a little bit different, as we like to say. We're not your typical OTA, and we have a not so typical loyalty program. So we do have our Plus program, which is not about points accrual or a templated kind of one size fits all loyalty model. It's really a collective of amazing hotels all over the world offering great benefits to our members. It really, as a hotel, it really allows you to be a part of something. And again, in our panel this morning, we were talking about loyalty programs, and we had a panelist from the company Fora, which is the travel advisor company, and they had mentioned that they ask their clients a lot about the perks that they get through larger loyalty programs and if they get the upgrades, and a lot of their clients say that they don't, or they aren't recognized as loyalty members, but they do say that that being a Plus member does help them get the benefits, and they like the extra perks that they get from being part of Plus. So we're happy to hear that, obviously, and we really kind of showcases how Plus is a little bit special, a little bit different than some of those big box loyalty programs. You're probably already familiar with Plus, but if not, it's our program where participating hotels offer VIP amenities to paying members in exchange for expanded marketing opportunities and priority ranking. So with the myriad options of places to book and stay, Plus is really a way to get more than just one-off bookings and guests. It really allows you access to our loyal users who will come back again and again. And like I said, those users are delighted to receive those benefits and those additional perks that maybe they're not getting from other loyalty programs. Plus has also been around for 17 years, and we're just constantly working to improve it. And I think that shows in these numbers that you see here on the screen. We've recently surveyed a large cross-section of our hotel partners, and we found that 86% of Plus participating hotels are satisfied with the program. Of the non-Plus hotels who responded, 60% of them were interested in learning more about the program. If that's you and you're here and you want to learn more, we're always happy to share more specifically about Plus and let you know how your hotel can join. And although we'd prefer that satisfaction number to be closer to 100%, this level that we've maintained really speaks to how Plus stands out for our hotel partners. When you're a Plus hotel, again, you're part of a collective of truly unique and extraordinary hotels all over the world, and you're getting access to these amazing clients that you may not have been able to access otherwise. And as I said, these are incredible members. Its Plus members are very extraordinary in their own right. So these numbers really speak for themselves, although I'll speak for them too. The majority of Plus members book premium room categories, and ADR from Plus members is 13% higher than our non-Plus users. It's a global average of $516 versus $456, just to get those numbers right, which means that they just overall spend more money at hotels. 68% of bookings by Plus members are for Plus hotels, which really it shows that they really do seek out those Plus hotels that are offering them those benefits over other options. And Plus users are super loyal. So when they find a place they love, which is where you and your hotel comes in, they want to go back. Over the past 3 years, 20% of Plus members rebooked at the same hotels, and 74% repeatedly booked Plus hotels. Um, Speaking of that loyalty, 85% of Plus members renew after their first year, which is a pretty great renewal rate. And 55% of Plus members have been around for more than 3 years. Keep in mind that these are paying members, so they are actively choosing to stay loyal to us and to Plus hotels. And as we'll find out in a minute, some of our top Plus members have been around for almost as long as we have. So we really feel like we're growing with our members. We're growing as a business with these incredible members. So while that general data is pretty cool in and of itself, we also thought it would be fun to illustrate just how valuable and loyal Plus members are by taking a look at the profiles of a few real life Plus members who book through both through Tablet and the Michelin Guide sites. So meet Deborah P. from Burbank, California, which is just outside of Los Angeles. She's booked $90,000 in revenue so far in 2024, and her ADR is $1,140. And speaking of members who've been around for a long time, Deborah has been a Plus member since 2008, which is basically the beginning of the Plus program. So she's an OG Plus member for sure, which is pretty amazing. And the next one is Bertrand C., who is based in Montreal, and he's been a member since 2022 with $129,000 in revenue booked this year so far and an almost $2,000 ADR. He travels mainly to New York and Europe, and books top hotel brands like Aman and Firmdale. James F. is a Michelin Guide Plus member, which means he generally books through the Michelin Guide site. And he books a lot, 40 bookings over the last 12 months, truly living the life that I want, and traveling to LA, Japan, the Caribbean, Crete, Morocco, amongst other places. Fun facts about James, he does not like to be contacted by the phone, so our customer service team only contacts him by email, and he's booked at 1, 2, and 3 key hotels. He's also loved, which is like our way of saying favorited, 182 restaurants on the Michelin Guide site. So he's clearly a lover of both fine restaurants and hotels. And last but not least is Jeff L. from New York City. He's been a Michelin Guide Plus member since 2021. He has 15 bookings in the last 12 months, and he only books key hotels. So that actually, the fact that he only books key hotels is kind of a great segue to take us into our next section, where we're going to be talking about the importance of curation when it comes to capturing bookings from these extraordinary users that we just talked about. So we want to delve into the rise of the modern travel agency and customers looking to trusted, curated sources for recommendations on where to stay. Maybe you're sensing a little bit of a theme here, but today there are just so many more hotels than ever before, more places to book hotels than ever before. And amidst the noise of trying to find the perfect place to stay and the perfect place to book that stay, travelers are really turning more than ever to book boutique agencies, advisors, and curated collections. It's no longer good enough to book a hotel that's just good enough. People are spending their hard-earned money. They're maybe taking a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and more than ever, they believe that where they stay is a key component when planning a trip. And this is even more pronounced when talking about travelers in the luxury segment. A recent study of our own users found that our users care more about an amazing hotel experience versus being close to the site. And that's 57% versus 43% prefer an amazing hotel experience over anything else. Um, so the hotel really, it's no longer where you rest your head at night. It really is the travel experience. And our consumers don't want to just choose from a never-ending list of hotels. They don't want to spend hours scouring through endless reviews from people they don't know. What they want is a tailored recommendation from people they know and trust. So that is where Tablet and the Michelin Guide come in, as you probably guessed. As I mentioned at the top, Tablet's been around for 25 years now, and we were the original hotel curator. We exist to help take the guesswork out of travel and help people find incredible hotels they may not have found on their own. The Michelin Guide has obviously been the gold standard in recommendations for more than 100 years. And now we've joined forces, and hotels in our selection are bookable on both sites. And we've also introduced another level of distinction in the form of the Michelin Key to help travelers find those exceptional experiences. So the Michelin Key is according to the international director of the Michelin Guide, the Michelin Key is a clear, reliable indication for travelers. Just as a Michelin star distinguishes those restaurants that are at the peak of their art, the Michelin Key recognizes the most exceptional hotels throughout the world. Um, and as I said, we did launch the keys this year. So it's been an exciting time for our curation model to have this additional level and this additional way to distinguish incredible hotels. It's important to point out that our Key Award really stands out because of the inspection process. Our selection team, which is the same team that decides, or sorry, not the same team, but similar to the team that decides on stars for restaurants. They're completely anonymous. They pay for their own stays and they don't get any freebies. They are full-time employees and professional reviewers, world travelers, sometimes with years or decades of experience in hospitality. They are completely objective, they are separate from our business entirely, and they can't be wined and dined or influenced for their opinion. So what that means is that these are awards that our members and that consumers can really trust. And since there's really no set international standard, really star ratings can vary from country to country and have different criteria, we really feel like we're building that with the keys. And here on this slide, you can see some of our favorite key awarded hotels like Casa Silencio, a 6-room gem of a property in Oaxaca, Mexico, which has 2 keys. Four Seasons Chiang Mai in Thailand, which is one of our hottest destinations right now. And that property earned 3 keys this year. And another 3-star property, Casa Cipriani in New York City, which is a member club and a hotel. It has amazing views of the Brooklyn Bridge. And we dubbed this hotel one of the most interesting hotels in Manhattan this year. Moving on, as I mentioned before, another emerging trend has been the rise of the travel advisor. So companies like Fora, who I mentioned earlier, are seeing triple-digit percentages of growth year over year. And we think that's coming from people who are looking to experts to help plan their trips. We've established a way to work with these advisors and these boutique travel agencies that kind of makes sense for everyone. So what we've done is integrated with these agencies and these advisor groups to create exclusive booking portals for their advisors. What that means is that the agents who have been telling us for years and decades that they use Tablet for our selection to find your hotel, they now have a platform and they can use our site to book as well. So we're actually bringing those bookings to you as well. That means we're providing visibility for our hotels and bookings from great users. Pro agent bookings On Tablet this year, their ADR is 11% higher than non-Plus users. And these integrations have been so popular that we're seeing a 91% increase in bookings from pro agents over the last year. And we also saw in the panel this morning, with lots of fun tidbits from that panel, some of the hotels that were speaking were echoing how much value they feel like they get from agents and advisors and how much more those clients are spending as well. So again, we are simply providing this platform to these advisors to find and book your hotels. So the bottom line is, in a world of endless options, we're really cutting through the noise with our curation model. And as people are looking more and more to travel advisors for recommendations, we're leveraging our partnerships with them to help bring you more bookings. Now, shifting gears just a little bit to talk about some more specific booking trends from our users, we wanted to take a look kind of at what we observed in the industry over the last few years, and some of the trends that popped up during the pandemic and post-pandemic. And we wanted to see what's happening this year and kind of how that compares to us and our own data. So we know that getaways were a major trend that arose in the past few years, and we wanted to see if that was still the case as we go into 2025. And spoiler alert, it is. So in the US, where there's more of a kind of a driving and road trip culture, we're finding that local getaways are still very popular. We took a look at New York City and LA, where a large part of our users are based, and we found that in New York, summer getaways to upstate New York are up 44% year over year. And then in LA, local LA getaways to places like San Diego, Santa Barbara, Las Vegas are up a whopping 74% year over year. So it seems that even as we are in a post-pandemic world and international travel has rebounded and people can go anywhere, that we're still seeing these kind of local getaways be very popular. And speaking from a sort of international global perspective, we did want to take a look at those trends as well beyond the US local getaways trends. And we really found that people are increasingly traveling to, or our users are increasingly traveling to more remote and out of the way places. And I don't know about you, but given the state of the world, I can't really blame people for wanting to get away from it all. So around the world, we found that bookings at hotels in jungle locations are up 102%. Mountain areas are up 29%. Hotels in the countryside are up 34%, and island hotels are up 36%. Along those same lines, people are looking to their hotel stays to relax. So our data shows that bookings from hotels with the word spa in the name are up 67% year over year. If you attended this presentation last year, you might remember that this was one of the big trends that we kind of identified and targeted for 2023 and predicted would continue into this year. So it's cool to see that that trend bear out. The last thing we want to touch on today has to do with what we're seeing for food-driven and restaurant-centered travel. So people have been traveling for great meals for as long as we can remember, or at least since the first Michelin guidebooks started popping up in France in 1900. But now more than ever, we're seeing a real crossover between restaurant lovers and hotel bookers. According to an American Express survey from 2023, it was said that food-driven travel is growing in popularity among younger travelers. So 47% of Gen Z and millennials say they've planned an entire trip around visiting a specific restaurant. We also know from our own data that 49% of Michelin Guide website users that looked at a hotel page in Northern Europe also looked at a nearby restaurant in the same session. So it makes sense that since the first Michelin keys were announced in March of this year, and alongside restaurant star revelations, every month after that, Michelin Guide hotel bookings have increased over the previous month. Another pretty remarkable point is that this growth in bookings is coming from organic users, so not from existing users or from metasearch. That they're basically these bookings are coming from Michelin's restaurant audience. The Michelin Guide restaurant selection also added over 10 destinations this year. So they expanded the guide into 10 new destinations. And with that expansion, we've added 1.4 million new Michelin Guide users in 2024. And essentially what we know is that the more Michelin grows its restaurant presence, the more hotel bookings grow. And it's the same set of users that are being driven to book your hotels through us. So if you remember James F., the Plus member from London, he had loved almost 200 restaurants on the Michelin Guide site and has 40 hotel bookings. So he's really a great example of this crossover that we're seeing. The main goal of Michelin's acquisition of Tablet was really to introduce hotels to their restaurant user base. And now up to 30% of bookings are coming from these users. So restaurant people who are interested in star-rated restaurants, and then they go and book hotels through Michelin as well. And really, we are the only site that has restaurants and hotel selections side by side. So we're the only ones that have access to this audience, and we're predicting that it will continue to grow exponentially. And you can see on this slide just a few properties that are Michelin Key award winners and also have Michelin rated restaurants on site. So we do have, if you go to the Michelin Guide website and look for restaurants, you can actually do a filter where you can filter by in Michelin hotels, and you can see all of the restaurants in that city or area, country that are associated with a hotel in the selection as well. So that's kind of a fun way we're using this synergy to really cross over and to capture this restaurant audience and drive them to book hotels. So we've covered a lot of ground in this presentation, from the rising importance of loyalty programs and the growing demand for curated travel experiences. And we've explored how Tablet and the Michelin Guide are really uniquely positioned to navigate these trends with you. Overall, we are committed to helping our hotel partners succeed in an increasingly competitive and crowded market, really by using our curation model, our loyal user base, our Plus members, and our partnerships with travel advisors to drive more bookings and help deliver exceptional experiences. As we've seen, the hospitality landscape in 2024 is filled with more options than ever, more hotels, more booking channels, and more competition. And in this sea of choices, the need for curation, trust, and loyalty has never been more evident. Our approach and our recommendations really provide travelers with a much needed life raft, guiding them to these unforgettable experiences. And, as we've said, we have seen a rise in travel advisors, food-driven travel, and a continued preference for wellness and remote getaways. And we're watching these trends closely and actively supporting them through our partnerships and programs. As travelers are increasingly seeking out not just a place to stay, but an experience to remember, it's clear that expertise and trust and loyalty is more important than ever. So with a record-breaking year behind us, and exciting projects on the horizon in the new year, we're really thrilled to continue partnering with you all to continue to drive growth and bookings and long-term success. So more than anything, we're just excited and proud to be part of this journey with you. So thank you for everything that you do to support us as well. And if there are any questions or comments that anyone would like to leave in the chat, we are happy to answer them. And if anyone thinks of anything after we finish up, you're always welcome to email us separately. We're happy to discuss any of this data or any of these trends with you one-on-one. I don't see any questions yet. So there is a question, can any travel advisor book via your site with their IATA? No. So travel advisors would have to either register as an affiliate or use one of our booking portals that we have set up with sites like Fora or other agencies. And Kurt says, love our partnership with Tablet and being a Plus property. Thank you so much, Kurt. That's so kind. We love you too. Great. So if there aren't any other questions, as I said, if you think of anything after we say goodbye, please feel free to reach out to us. We will, as I said before, we will be hosting a replay of this session on the Hay Summit site. So if you want to send this to any of your colleagues or anyone else at your hotel, feel free. We'll send the information out to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, we have one more question. So it's a good question. Okay, so the question is, most of the Michelin key launches impacted mainly in the city. How much is city versus out of city? It's a great question. Actually, most of the key launches were by country. So we had 13 destinations and they were all set by country. The US was sort of the only one where we did two key award announcements. The first one was in areas where the guide, the restaurant guide already existed. And then later this year, we had keys awarded to the rest of the US. So I don't know, to answer your question, I don't know the exact percentage of city versus non-city, but it is varied. In each country, there are key hotels in both cities and non-cities. And thank you for your question. All right, great. We will wrap it up there then. Thank you so much again for joining us. And thanks again for your great partnerships. We're really excited to be finishing out this year and going into next year strong. So have a wonderful holiday season and we'll chat with you soon. Bye-bye.